Hey party people, welcome back to MVM. Today I am back into the Chronicles of Drunagor universe. This is Aftermath, and this, of course, is going to add a lot more stuff to it. So let's just go ahead and knock that stuff out of the way. What are they adding? So they did a lot of refining to the system. So you'll see some things that are going to change. Just pay attention to that while we're looking at this. But ultimately, they added some new abilities and things like that. Of course, they add new people, new classes. I believe there's 10 more. So you're going to see one of them today. Actually, I'll kind of explain the other two that I had in my kit because I played with two of them out of the three. And then just a couple, like I said, refinements. So you're going to see some of that today. Of course, it's still got that awesome cube system that I love so much. I mean, I'm pretty biased. I was in the game at one point, the beginning game. And of course, this stuff can be used across all the previous Chronicles of Drunagor stuff you have. But of course, you just refine the greatness, right? That's exactly why I have this game on the table in front of you. It is a well-regarded system. It is a well-regarded dungeon crawl game, and that still remains true. I haven't played mine in a long time, and then when I played this, I was like, oh snap, this game is awesome, okay? It's still awesome. So there's no reason to tell you in a paid preview that I'm not going to give you many details. Let's just go ahead and show you what goes on in this one, showing you one of the highlights of the new character. So now, let's just go ahead and get to the table, let you know this is a 1 to 4 player game. I believe that now it's a 5-player game. It might be an expansion with this one. But a couple things that are around this system that you do need to know and why it's so popular. One, it has these 3D terrains. Now, I know that's kind of like a thing now, but back in the day, this was brand spanking new. As a matter of fact, most games don't even entertain this 3D stuff except for Descent. Also, this activation system is really interesting because not only do you activate as this coin moves across, but you're also going to choose roles as you move across this to kind of set up where you want to. So there's a defender, a support, leader, striker, controller, and depending on where you pick, that role you pick, you could be a support, but then you'll go when the track goes around here. So you could have a menu here, a monster here, another player here, and then boom, you go when we go here. But since I chose defender, I'm going to be here. Then on top of that, because I'm a defender, I also get these skill cards. And this is some of the things that have changed. Just pay attention to that. So then I have these skill cards as well. And they give me a little bit of extra on top of the abilities I get because I'm Penelope right here. And then on top of that, there's these cool these chips here. And what they do is we draw them from the bag and then we add them here, which activates certain cards that are placed here. And they're sort of like events that are happening. And depending on how many of those actual chips those things are there, when I go to this right here and it has 1, 2, 3, 4 green chips here, that will tell me hey, this is how many times this will activate, or the attack will be 4 times how many chips are here. So that's what this darkness monster thing, this bag thing is, which we won't do too much of, but I wanted to give you an idea of everything that can happen on here. But typically this is our activation system. And then we have our character. Every character in the game has a certain set of action cubes, and the action cubes trigger all the actions that are on the side of the board. We have yellow, which is our melee. We have our red, which is our range, okay? And then we have our green and blue, and those are kind of like across the areas and anywhere on the board, but they're typically movement actions and reactions things. They help you cleanse things because there is going to be this curse that comes upon you as you refresh here, and they'll start to block out some of your abilities, and you'll have to refresh those in order to do it. Now, every character has their way of dealing with things in this game, dealing with issues that they may occur. They want to cleanse themselves so they can keep using their abilities, things like that. So let's hold off on some of that until we get to the other part of the game. Now, on top of that, everybody has their significant roles that they have. Right now, I have picked Penelope as a defender, so that gives me a whole bunch of cards to help me defend myself because she's not the biggest attacker. She's more of a strategy type character, and we're going to use her for that. But also, she has her own ability, which as we gain what's called focus in the game, we'll start to compile a whole bunch of these pieces, and some of their special pieces, depending on the characters, will all go in this kind of pool area here. And hers is called the premonition die. So what we'll do at the beginning of each round, at the start of the round, She starts with 10 health. I'll roll this die. Oh my God. I rolled a 20. What I'll do is I'll put this premonition die down. Now, whenever I use any other ability in the game, and I want to trigger anything in the game. Let's say I roll like let's say a 4, and I need a better roll so that I can roll 7 or more to do my attack. Well, I have a D20 here, okay, and I just rolled a 20, so that'll give me double damage. I can switch out that die and then say, hey, I rolled this instead. So this gives me a little bit more of an advantage. Sometimes it's a bad roll. So keep that stuff in mind as we move on. Sorry about the dogs. We'll keep rolling. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh no, I'm keeping my 20. Actually, I'm going to cheat, keep my 20. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's do that. All right, cool. All right, so with all that being said, also one of the bigger things here is the one shot here. So I'm showing you a little bit of a hybrid just to give you an idea, but this one shot mode will help you develop your character faster. I know I'm talking a lot up front, but I want to give this to you. Now, if you played a game like Massive Darkness or Deliverance, those are two games that I absolutely love. You can play these like one-shot things, and you get to be awesome. Like, you get to level up super fast on this high arc really quickly. I absolutely love those games because you could do that. And they're both epic if you want to play bigger things, but this is a great way to play Chronicles of Drunagor because now you can play that quick level up thing. It's adjusted to player count because the enemies level up as you level up, and they become stronger. And they instantly level up, so you can feel awesome and kick butt, and then they can feel awesome and kick butt, and then we're just going at it. So that, I think with that, there's enough there. Let's just get into the system, and that's starting with our character here. We are down here at the bottom here. We are going to be able to, on our turn, take several actions. We can take one movement action. We can take 2 cube actions that activate these abilities on here. And then we also can take a minor action. And we can even use these cubes to do a second minor action, things like that. So we have a lot of different things. We may be interacting with barrels. We may be using consumables, all that stuff. That's minor actions. You can interact with things. I'll show you what you're going to interact with, which would be really cool. This is another thing that was in Chronicles of Drunagor before a lot of other people, and I want to show you that as a little bit more. Okay, so like I said before, we have our yellow, which is our melee stuff. We have our red, which I have is my range stuff, and green, kind of movement base, and then blue is kind of like our kind of defensive stuff, okay? So let me get that out of the way. I don't want anything bad happening to me. So we're going to activate this. Okay, so it's my turn. I have rolled my D20 to start the round. That's because I have what's called premonition, and that comes from here. I have my 2 focus here, and then I'll kind of just get to it. My movement, my natural movement is 3. And like I said, I can move 3. I can go like that. I can do diagonals, things like that. These areas, okay, so these areas are ranges. So if I wanted to shoot from here and range, that would be the red cube. If I wanted to attack adjacent, I could do any square around me. And then for the blue and green, you're basically doing the entire map or near or whatever. It will tell you. If I want to activate any of these things with all 4 colors, I can just choose any color to activate them. Right now, what I want to do is, because I see I have this here, I'm going to go ahead and flip my weapon from a regular weapon, which is a 7+, to a 4, from a 4, to flip it over to potentially roll a 12 and then get 6 damage. So I think I'm going to do that because that's going to do something awesome for me. So we're going to go with, we're going to go 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, actually I'm going to go like that. All right, and then I'm going to go, let's do, okay. So then we'll go here. We want to not be adjacent because we can't do adjacent from range. So we'll shoot over to him while we're there. And what we'll do is we'll do threatening arrow. So I'll place this little cube inside of here. And as you can see, there's spots here for upgrades and things like that. So then I'll go attack one target with +2 to hit. and then it says I break and I do intimidate, which takes away from their ability to attack. So what did I roll? Let's see. Well, I rolled an 18 anyway. I'm not using that. Okay, cool. So we have 18. That's going to give us 6 health attack. 1. So we're going to go down to 9. Cool. All right, and then it says intimidate, which I can't remember which one it is. I believe it's this one here. So we put that on there. He's going to be intimidated. And then what that means is he's going to go down. His attack is going to be reduced by 2. Okay, so that was that. I still get to activate one more thing. So I do have to use something else in order to get there. It says Ray, okay, so I think what I'll do is now that I can't really attack from too far. Oh, here we go. Move self. Here we go. Charge. I'm going to use this yellow here. Okay. And it says, I'm going to have to be melee because I chose yellow, not red. I'm going to go ahead. It says move 3 self. Okay. So I'm going to move my 3 self. I'm going to use, that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to move over there. I'm going to attack this guy again. Now, a couple things about this dark setter right here. Has 15 health. It's got a whole bunch of little things. I want to put this stuff on the screen, so I'm kind of just talking and letting it roll. But this dark setter here has 15 health. It attacks me for 6. And then it's got a bunch of abilities here that I got to watch out for because it can break my shield and it can knock me down. So I could be on my butt. Okay, I got to watch out for that. And it has intimidate, so it can reduce my attack. And it has 4 movement, so it's kind of kicking butt here, right? So I got to watch out for that. Then we're going to, it says self attack 1 target with plus hit 0, plus 2 per unused movement. Ooh, so I could probably stay here and just attack right there. Yeah, let's do that. So then we roll. All right, boom. I have a 6, which is not enough to do it, okay? But I switch out. And then boom, it says, hey, use that value instead, unused discard the runes card. Okay, so then that's gone. And then what I'll do is I rolled a d20, so that will double my attack, taking him down to 0 and taking him out. I made that look like light work, and trust me, I totally made that look like light work because I have a 20. Like, yeah, I'm going to use that. Matter of fact, I played a demo with Mike from One Stop Co-op Shop. Trust me, you want to definitely watch his playthrough because it's going to be a full playthrough. And I think I rolled 2 d20s to start out the match and like an 18 right after that. So it was like boom, boom, boom. And we just like made it through the first room with like literally no resistance. So it was pretty funny. Next up, because we defeated an enemy, we move across this track here. And I want to speed this up just a little bit so you get an idea of what's going on here and give you some other stuff. So since I took him out, he's gone, so he wouldn't even have a turn. But by the magic of board games and video games and all those things that are wonderful, I have combined those powers to bring Dark Satyr back and give him 6 more life, okay? Now, what I wanted to do is show you several things that happen here. The Dark Satyr is going to attack me. They do not roll, okay, but he does have Intimidate. We're going to keep that Intimidate. What he's going to do is attack me for 6. No rolls. All we need to know is that he's going to attack me for 6. And if there were multiple Dark Satyrs, they would attack me in order, okay? Now, what happens is he's going to attack me for 6. I have to defend that 6. Otherwise, I'm going to get hit for 6. And I'm also going to have to... it's going to be Intimidate, so it's going to take away from my damage. I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one here. We're going to prevent some of this attack. Tumble 3, prevent 3, move 2 with jump. Okay, so like I could go up a level. Sometimes they have what's called jump, which means you can jump up on things without paying extra movement. In this game. Like I said, 3D terrain. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to prevent 3 and then move 1. Let's do 1, 2. Okay, like that. Okay. And then it says move 2. But I still have to prevent 3. So that was 3 damage. And I think that's really all I can do. Yeah. Prevent. Let's do appeal. Let's do appeal instead. So we're going to go with appeal. Appeal says prevent 2, one target, prevent 2 for each hero. Oh no, that's not going to help much. Okay, so then you'll go back to that. We'll go with the green. We'll do one. Yeah, we'll do blue on there. All right, so then we prevent 3, and then boom, we're done. Okay, so we prevent 3. We're going to get hit for 3. All right, so then we do 3 down to 7, and then we also are going to get this intimidate here. But he's also going. I'm sorry. So he goes from 6 down to 4. So when we only get we prevented 3, so he only go down 1 there, right? So he can only hit me for 4, and I prevented 3, so 1. Not bad. Okay, not bad. All right, so now he's no longer intimidated, but I am knocked down. All right, I am knocked down, and then I have break. So what happens is the next time he attacks me, I get double the damage. So I don't want to be broken here. And please forgive me a little bit here, because I have to maintain all these little icons here, and you got to get used to the looking up these abilities one by one here. Okay, so then I'm knocked down. He got a pretty big advantage on me on this one here. So then that's what we do here. Then we move this thing around, and what happens is this rune at the end, it could have a timer with multiple pieces here, or it just may say, hey, do this. Well, we're going to kind of advance this a little bit to give you a little bit more of a spin on it. So we're going to slide this over. It says advance through the dungeon here, and it says experience tokens from this card according to the progression check. Remove the token from this card, and then you would have tokens there. If there are no monsters and there's no tokens on the board, proceed to the next instruction. So we're just going to do this. Now, this was a really interesting part back in the day. What happens is there's a 3D terrain, so there'd be like this door here. It's actually like a door. You would actually open the door, and it would tell you where to put things, okay? So it would say, hey, create this map. It'd have the story here. It may have a go to certain page, and when you go to a specific page, it may have a picture of what you see. So you may see a puzzle that you need to figure out, and you have to pick numbers that are on the board to decide which thing you want to do. You may see somebody sloughed over on a throne, and it's like you got to figure out, hey, I see this, I see that. What do I see? You look at paragraphs in the book and kind of make choices off of that. You may receive experience, all that type of stuff. But this is typically going to tell you what to set up here and then what monsters come on. Now, I'm just going to quick fake simulate this and give you some stuff to look at so you have an idea what's going on. So let's say this may go like right here, and then we have another thing here, and it goes on here. Okay, like that. Like that. And then this comes out. This has got this. And now we have these new minions that come out. Okay, so we have, let's see, the lacrimoses. Let's do these. All right, so now we have minions that come out. Let's just say that. And we got a barrel. Interesting thing about barrels, you can jump in the barrels. You can jump in the barrels, or you can even throw the barrels, okay? Just to give you an idea of some silly stuff that can go on. And then this lacrimosa here, they go above, let's see, they go above the buildings here, I believe. I think these minions go above here. Actually, they go here. They go here. So let's say this Dark Satyr is gone. I am here now. And then what happens is when I fight these guys, okay, I have to take out their entire health. They're very, very easy. They're going to kind of mob you up. This one says single target mechanics token. So they're going to be trying to mob you up. What you're trying to do is take them out. They have 4 health. You have to take out their entire health. A couple other things. If you are above the people, you get an advantage to your attack. You may have enemies spawn. Once this thing gets to the end here, you'll have some spawning going on. There'll be different spawn points. But here's the deal. If you start to take these guys out, you'll start to move across this track. This is where, that fun part of like developing your character comes in. Now what'll happen is I start to go up this chart and I get abilities for myself. So for me, the Oracle, I'm going to get second premonition. And now I get to go in my deck here and find me some second premonition. So I'm just going to look for it real quick. You thought I had this completely set up? No, I did not. Okay, here you go. So now I have the second premonition, and this is a wisdom skill. And then maybe I go to here, okay? And eventually I start leveling up. Well, not only do I level up, but looks like my minions are also leveling up here. So they will go from, the rookies will go from here to there. They're going up a little bit as I level up as well. Yeah, so it's a Lacrimose, and then it becomes a Darkling. Okay, so we're going to watch out for those as we move higher and higher and higher up. But now I get a new ability, and it goes in my blue area here. Now, once I move up on these tracks, I get new skills. And these skills are going to have different abilities on them too, based on what I am. So if I take a look at this, the Defender, I'm going to get, let's see, it says Healthy Renewal and Comforting Word. So I'm going to get this one here. And this will go in my skill area here. So I'll have this as well. There's something I can do here. So Comforting Word. Each heal effect you cast receives +1 heal. Comforting Word and Healthy Renewal. You know, Healthy Renewal. Okay. I may not have grabbed the card. Here we go. Healthy Renewal. Okay, so this is the other one. So I have these here. Whenever you receive a cleanse means, okay, once I do this, I can cleanse one of my abilities. I can cleanse this break. I could cleanse one of these curses here as well. And then I have these abilities that are up to me. And they do level up, by the way. They do level up. I should also say, there may be a point in this game where I only have so many of these actions I can do. They don't come back at the end of the round. Let's say the round is over. I reroll my die because of my ability. Once again, 17, awesome. But let's just say I wanted to take my turn and I wanted to rest. I choose to rest. When I choose to rest, I will bring all these back. Okay? Now that I bring them all back, I get on my cubes, but I willingly end my turn, but I also pick up the curse because the darkness is after me. So maybe I want to choose one of these abilities down here, and that stops, that the darkness continues to take over. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to get knocked out. You don't want trauma scars. You don't want those conditions to stick with you throughout your campaign. We're just happen to play on one shot here. And then if you also run out of them, and let's say you had another action left, well, you actually get these all back, and you don't finish your turn. You can continue your turn, but you would still put down one of these cubes. So you have two different ways of doing this to end your turn, and you can do that at any point, which is good. That's awesome. Just keep that in mind. It's one of those quick little things of how you keep this moving. And I should say, just because this thing continues to power up, then you can go in here and start to find your own weapons and things like that. So they do a really good job of trying to get you to level up. Then you get more action cubes. You get more, I think, more darkness cubes, but you can keep going on this track. And what it's doing is, and it goes further out depending on player count, but really interesting action system to kind of get you moving, and then also getting that, just kick butt thing. I absolutely love Massive Darkness and Deliverance for that, and this is making me fall deeper into that enjoyment of Chronicles of Drunagor. And with that, that's Chronicles of Drunagor. This game is a gift that keeps on giving. It is one of the best dungeon crawls, no question. It is easily one of the best out there, and it even got better with the one night one shots, because one shots just make sure the game gets to the table. But the combination of all the setups, the action cubes, it's just really smart. It makes you feel smart when you figure out things, especially when you even figure out the puzzles that are there, the 3D terrain, all the like the little book thing opens. That doesn't get tired, actually. Like to kind of have that, and that's that's your setup. But there's like a surprise inside type kind of expressed to you when you open the book. You're like, what's in the book? And then you open the book, and it's kind of like this. It's fun. It's just fun. But I'll leave it there. I should have talked about some of these different abilities from this guy here. So like Hakim, he's got a kind of like an aggro token here. I did not play with this character here, but just remember there's a bunch of new ones in the game to offer. With that, party people, I could go on forever, but I'm not. going forever, but I'm not. Just remember, this is paid preview. I cannot tell you what to do with your money, but as you can say, pretty geeked about this game. All right, folks, with that, you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM. It's always good to see you, party people. With that, take care.